Hi, my name is Entner. I'm an artist and I'm a professor of sculpture and art history at SUNY Oswego. Really influenced, as you can see, by classical, Renaissance, and Baroque sculpture and architecture. Um, I love the work of Michelangelo, Bernini, and a lot of the ancient Greeks. Um, and I'm also interested in a lot of contemporary artwork, and so I think with this body of work, you could see the influence of both, because I'm kind of mashing older stuff with natural elements, but it's all through the use of technology, and there's always a little bit of manipulation in the outcome of each piece. This body of work is called Classics, and what I see it is a kind of a metamorphosis of old and new stories and imagery and materials. And one of the things I love about classical sculpture is the stories that go with it. This is a bust originally of Costanza Bonarelli, who was the lover of Bernini, Gian Lorenzo Bernini. And there's kind of an apocryphal story about how he was madly in love with her. She was known for this great beauty, but she kind of had an affair with Bernini's brother. And one part of that story is he eventually slashed her face or attacked her, and kind of ruined her beauty. And I always found this, the original piece, really engaging. And in it, she's got kind of a striking facial pose, alert, you know. So I built off of that, and then I kind of created my own version where in almost all these pieces I'm using natural elements like invertebrates or coral, and I kind of wanted to transform her bust into this kind of distorted figure that looks like it's could be real, but it's also been changed in some way. And I don't really know why I did all this stuff. It's still very new. And I also kind of squeezed the statue. If you look at it from an oblique angle, it's kind of compressed. And so I think in a way this is my version of defacing her or changing her original beauty. This is a statue. It's part of a collection of I believe 8 statues. They're called the Niobids. And Niobe was a Greek mother that had several children. She was very proud of them and boastful of them. And the gods didn't like her hubris. And so they sent, I can't remember if it's eagles, but basically her children were stricken from on high in the heavens. And so the original statue is this boy that's kind of guarding himself. And I wanted to create this kind of dynamic. I wanted to take what was in the original statue, the kind of imaginary force that he's fearful of, and using again coral elements, sea elements, kind of creating this celestial thing that's intertwining and flowing down. And what I love about this piece is probably my favorite one, is that it really has a feeling of heaviness and lightness, and they're not quite engaged. There's only actually 2 very slight contact points between this thing and the actual figure. Um, but it suddenly becomes kind of magical. You can kind of fulfill that story, or you can create your own story with it. The other thing that I love about it is it's kind of in the Baroque tradition where it's fully in the round, it's kind of twisting before you. There's a term in art history called figura serpentinata, a serpentine figure, kind of spiraling around, and I love that sensibility of how, as you move around this thing, you kind of notice more and different elements of it. This is my version of a bucrania, and it's a little different than all the other pieces. Most of the work here was primarily just standalone statuary, or reliefs. Bucrania usually were used in architectural elements. There's a long tradition throughout humanity of using cow skulls, animal skulls as kind of metaphors for power, for robustness, for kind of sacredness as well, and sacrifice. And there's a specific altar in Rome that I love. It's called the Altar of Augustan Peace, and it's decorated with friezes of several cow skulls, bucrania, and there's garlands of fruits and vegetables that hang from it. And it's meant to kind of be religious. It's meant to be a symbol of sacredness, but also of abundance and the kind of wealth that came with the peace of Augustus. And so within the theme of all the other pieces, using these sea elements, I'm kind of building my own garland here, and I find it really engaging. I will put the caveat in whether you edit this out or not. I don't know what most of this work is. It's work that I've done very recently. I've only been working on it for about 5 months. And in my process, I feel like I'm a collage artist, and I'm thinking about composition above all. And I haven't really fully come to realize like the why for all these pieces. So advice I'd give to young artists, a couple things. One is you need to build a community. You're never going to be able to do or make or show your work unless you have support, whether that's family or friends or just other artists you know. And it can be as simple as just, talking to your grandparents, getting feedback or support that way, or a teacher or whatnot. It's really hard to work independently. The other thing I would say is you have to learn to trust your instincts and trust what you're doing, and give up this idea of what an artist is, and just be passionate about what you're doing and be excited about what you're doing. And then the last thing is, if you ever feel like you're stuck or you're lost, I think the best thing to do is to just keep making work. Make a lot of bad artwork. And in that process, even though it may feel like you're wasting time or you're unproductive, you're probably the most productive you'll ever be, because you're learning what you don't like or what's not working. And I guarantee you eventually it'll bear fruit.